Mr. President, we are meeting today because the humanitarian situation in Gaza has deteriorated significantly, with over 18,000 Palestinians killed in Gaza and up to 1.9 million people reportedly displaced, which represents about 85% of the population of Gaza. The Commissioner General of UNRWA sent a letter to the President of the General Assembly on the 7th of December, warning of an irreversible disaster. And he also said that the humanitarian situation in Gaza is now untenable, with people, and I quote, desperate, hungry, and terrified. We're therefore disappointed that the Security Council was not able to adopt the draft humanitarian resolution put forward by the United Arab Emirates last week, which Singapore had co-sponsored. Mr. President, Singapore also co-sponsored the Emergency Special Session Resolution entitled Protection of Civilians and Upholding Legal and Humanitarian Obligations that the General Assembly adopted with an overwhelming majority of 153 votes in favor on the 12th of December. Singapore supports the call made in this resolution for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. This is essential for the urgent and unhindered provision of humanitarian aid to civilians throughout Gaza. I wish to reiterate Singapore's grave concern at the worsening humanitarian situation in Gaza, which has led to the loss of many thousands of innocent civilian lives. Singapore also supports the call made in the resolution for all parties to comply with their obligations under international law, including international humanitarian law, notably with regard to the protection of civilians. We recognize that Israel has the right to defend its citizens and territory, but in exercising this right, Israel must comply fully with international humanitarian law. This means responding in a proportionate manner. This means avoiding the indiscriminate killing of civilians. This means avoiding the collective punishment of civilians. And this means avoiding the permanent mass displacement of civilians. Singapore strongly supports the call made in the resolution for the immediate release of all remaining hostages. The taking of hostages is prohibited by international law. Hamas and other parties involved must ensure the safety and security of the hostages and facilitate their immediate release. Mr. President, it is a fact that the heinous terrorist attack carried out by Hamas in Israel on the 7th of October led to the killing of over 1,200 Israelis, the majority of whom were innocent civilians. We regret that the resolution adopted on the 12th of December does not condemn or even make reference to the actions of Hamas. Singapore wishes to place on record our view that terrorist attacks carried out by any party cannot be condoned or justified by any rationale.